Hi guys, welcome to E-Litt Ninjas, and today we are going to talk about the Middle English period. As I said in one of my videos, it's important to know about the different periods of British literature. So I'm dealing with each period in a brief manner with important works and important writers and important characteristics in this series. A few of the students did email us asking for this series, so that's why we are doing this. I hope you enjoy. Middle English period. Middle English language, the vernacular spoken and written in England from about 1100 to about 1500. The history of Middle English is often divided into three periods. First, early Middle English from about 1100 to about 1250, during which the Old English system of writing was still in use. The Central Middle English period, second one, from about 1250 to about 1400, which was marked by the gradual formation of literary dialects, the use of an orthography greatly influenced by the Anglo-Norman writing system. So you see a change there. The loss of pronunciation of final unaccented E and the borrowing of large number of Anglo-Norman words. This period was especially marked by the rise of London dialect in the hands of writers such as John Gower and Geoffrey Chaucer. Third one, late Middle English from about 1400 to about 1500, which was marked by the spread of the London literary dialect. In a way, we know that still, in a way, there is a standard form, the connection with the London dialect, and the gradual cleavage between the Scottish dialect and the Northern dialects. The dialects of Middle English are usually divided into three groups. First one, Southern; second, Midland; third, Northern. Several poems in early Middle English are extant. The Ormulum, which was written in about 1200, a verse translation of parts of the Gospels, is of linguistic and prosodic rather than literary interest. The Owl and the Nightingale, of approximately the same date, is the first example in English of the Diba, a popular continental form. Middle English prose of the 13th century continued in the tradition of Anglo-Saxon prose, homiletic, didactic, and directed toward ordinary people rather than polite society. The Catherine group, comprising of three saints, is typical. The Angreen Revue is a manual for prospective anchoresses. 13th century. In the 13th century, the Romance, an important continental narrative verse form, was introduced in England. It drew from three rich sources of character and adventure: the legends of Charlie Magny, the legends of ancient Greece and Rome, and the British legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round. King Arthur is one of the famous, right? I mean, everybody knows about him. Lymon's Brut, a late 13th century metrical romance, a translation from the French, marks the first appearance of Arthurian matter in English. However, French romances, notably the Arthurian romances of Chrétien de Troyes, were far more influential than their English counterparts. Ideals of courtly love, together with its elaborate manners and rituals, replaced those of the heroic code. Adventure and feats of courage were pursued for the sake of the knight's lady rather than for the sake of the hero's honor or the glory of his tribal king. Remember Beowulf? He fights for his own glory, but in Middle English, 13th century, you see a difference. Continental verse forms based on metrics and rhyme replaced the Anglo-Saxon alliterative line in Middle English poetry. Yes, in 14th century there was an alliterative revival, but 13th century, no. Many French literary forms also became popular, among them the fabliau, the exemplum or moral tale, the animal fable, and the dream vision. The continental allegorical tradition, which derived from classical literature, is exemplified by the Roman de la Rose, which had a strong impact on English literature. You remember these names, these are very important for NET. Lyrics continued popular in the 15th century, from which time the ballad also dates. The 14th century. The Pearl, a Christian allegory, is a poem of great intricacy and sensibility that is meaningful on several symbolic levels. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, by an anonymous author, is of high literary sophistication. Its intelligence, symbolic interest, vividness, you could call it the finest Arthurian poem in English. Other important alliterative poems are the moral allegory Piers the Plowman, written by William Langland, then alliterative Morte Arthur, which is similar to other poems in English in the mid 14th century, and it's also anonymous. The works of Geoffrey Chaucer marks the brilliant culmination of English literature. I still remember starting with him for my MA. So Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales are also stories told to each other by pilgrims, and it comprises a very colorful cross-section of 14th century English society. And these people are on their way to the shrine at Canterbury. The tales are cast into many different verse forms and genres, and in a way explore virtually every significant medieval theme. Chaucer's wise and humane work also illuminates the full scope of medieval thought. He is not a critic in that, by the way, you'll love it. Overshadowed by Chaucer, but of some note, are the works of John Gower. The 15th century. The 15th century is not distinguished in English letters. You know why? Some war? Yeah, because of the Wars of the Roses. There was a lot of dislocation. And you see a lot of imitators of Chaucer in 15th century. John Lydgate, Thomas Hoccleve, and John Skelton. His works are mostly satiric, and he combines medieval and Renaissance elements. William Caxton introduced printing to England in 1475, a big thing, a big move, big change. And in 1485 printed Sir Thomas Malory's Maud the Other. The Miracle Play, a long cycle of short plays based upon biblical episodes, was also popular in the Middle Ages. The Morality Play, an allegorical drama centering on the struggle for man's soul, originated in the 15th century. And the finest among the genre is Everyman. Thanks for watching. If you liked my video, like, share and subscribe.